Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. My name is Seth Estrada and you're watching the Nightly Mining Report for December 10th, 2019. Okay guys, it's time to take a look at the current state of CPU and GPU mining. Why CPU mining? Well, I'll show you in a minute, but there's kind of a spoiler resting on top of my head right now. But before we go any further, do me a solid and make sure that you are subscribed to the channel and that you've clicked on the bell icon so you're notified when new videos like this come out in the future. Thank you to mineyour.biz for sponsoring this episode. Gamers Nexus issued an article about how the current market, based on what they can tell from their affiliate sales of desktop CPUs, has flipped in favor of AMD. And I suspect that has something to do with the mining market. Not that it all happened overnight. It definitely didn't. And their sales data kind of shows that in 2018, with the announcement of Radeon 7, with the announcement of the Ryzen processors and the new EPYC series processors, well, these CPUs just slay at pretty much everything you want to do. OpenCL, any kind of content creation, any kind of massively threaded applications, which games, of course, are getting better and better at. Video encoding has been good at for a long time, thanks to open source technologies like X264. And then, of course, compression. Compression is now multi-threaded. So anything that you can do with a multi-core processor, it seems AMD can do better than Intel. So it's not a shock that this has happened. However, hashing is no exception, especially if you have more cores, more physical cores on each processor. Generally speaking, for cryptocurrency mining, you don't want to use virtual cores. You need to use physical cores. So as the core count on AMD has risen with Ryzen, it seems that more and more miners have chosen AMD. So I think there's a correlation here, and I think that with the plan to go to RandomX, it's been the obvious choice for miners and for mining operations. But don't take my word for it. Let's take a look at the Monero hash rate. This is just the last month, and this is the point at which Monero chose to make the switch to RandomX. Now, prior to Monero doing this, other projects were testing the RandomX algorithm. That's right. Wownero, and now Loki uses it as well. And prior to using the RandomX algorithm, Loki tried out the TurtleCoin algorithm, or CryptoNight TurtleCoin, and tried to do merged mining with Turtle. Kind of an interesting experiment. I don't know that it turned out the way they'd hoped. I still think that merged mining is something that more crypto notes should do. Just didn't seem to work out super well between Loki and Turtle. Kind of a bummer. I like both those projects, and they are clearly really good players in this space, in this game of crypto. So here's the Monero hash rate chart. I'm not going to pretend to know that there's definitely some kind of correlation here, but let's take a look at CoinGecko. And CoinGecko, here's a bit of the price action, not too drastically affected on that December 1st day. Kind of a little bit of a dip, but not overly drastic. And then as far as the daily volume, the volume appeared to dip before and then slowly rose back up. Is it related? I don't know for sure, but I think it is. I think it is. These three data points kind of tell me that we're seeing that there is there are interesting things afoot in the CPU mining space. That's all I'm going to say. I don't want to say that there's any kind of direct causality or there's any kind of conspiracy theory. There's definitely almost certainly not. Almost definitely certainly not. But it's a very interesting correlation, you have to admit. And I think it has to do with CPU mining. And I think we're going to see a stronger return to CPU mining in the mid-scale space. If you're looking at capitalizing a mining facility, CPUs are definitely on the menu for a lot of people. Let's take a look at what to mine. I've created a CPU entry right here based on numbers that we can pull from Monero benchmarks.info. And on what to mine right here, this represents something akin to a Ryzen 3950X. So right here, RandomX at about 100 or 16 kilohash, and I put 230 watts. Going to just consider that it's unoptimized with a cost of 10 cents per power, and then profitability and difficulty averaged over 7 days. I really like mining the averages. I think in the same way that you might dollar cost average into buying cryptocurrencies, especially like Bitcoin or whatever, it's absolutely commonsensical to sort of dollar cost average in to your mined profits as well. If you're trying to make some kind of crazy profit overnight and you're not playing a long game, you might not understand the power of mining and you might be choosing the wrong coins, in my opinion. So I like using those numbers right there. Let's calculate right now to get fresh numbers though. And take a look down here. The only coins listed on what to mine right now are Monero and then NiceHash for RandomX. And of course, NiceHash, as per usual, offers a slightly higher profit because they offer a bit of margin to miners for them to sell their hash rate to the service. That said, please do not sell your hash rate to NiceHash. Bitcoin is a really great project and you should absolutely own Bitcoin, in my opinion. Obviously, do your own research. I can't believe I always have to say that. You know what? Check it out. I'm going to stop saying it and boom, there you go. See that? There you go. All right. Disclaimed. Bitcoin's great. Don't sell your GPU or CPU hash rate to get Bitcoin right now. Yes, you can do so at a teeny tiny profit. It's a way for you to chip into getting Bitcoin, but there are other ways to do that as well. You can trade for that. You don't have to give your hash rate directly away to an aggregator like NiceHash, because we know for a fact that bad actors in the space have used NiceHash to execute 51% attacks. I personally have been involved in hash rate nuking certain projects. Not to the tune of 51%, but really darn close. On a couple of smaller projects as algorithm changes were taking place, and I just needed more nodes to start hashing for me. So just saying, please be a good crypto citizen. Please do not sell your mining power to NiceHash. I drew blank there. Let's take a look at NVIDIA really quickly and see, with a sampling of every single card, all the way from the 1050 Ti, which, by the way, is an extremely efficient miner. It's really cool to have a GPU that is entirely bus powered, really efficient miner, all the way up to the 2080 Ti. Same parameters, 10 cent power, 7 days for profit, 7 days of average difficulty. Let's calculate that for fresh numbers. And these are unoptimized numbers across every other algorithm. You will likely do better if you spend time and if you use all the tools available to you at the mining level, at the OS level, and at the driver level to be able to get better numbers. And if you understand something about overclocking and undervolting carefully and safely, you're going to do better, just so you know. But right now, seems like a lot of alternate coins. Where's Ethereum? Where's Ethereum Classic? Where's Monero? Where's any kind of crypto note? Well, obviously, crypto notes are not particularly profitable on NVIDIA cards, but all of these, you got everything from Zhash and Cuckoo Cycle, all the way to a bare profit of a cent a day across all those cards with NiceHash Ethereum mining, all the way up to X16R version 2. So pretty interesting goings on there with X16R version 2 and Kukuru being pretty high on the list. And then Zcoin with Merkle tree proofs. Yay! I'm really excited to see that. I think that what Zcoin is doing there is really innovative. I think it's a really cool, really cool hashing algorithm. Also, props to Zellhash or Zellcash or the Zell project right there with Zellhash, really high in the stacked ranking as well. And then Beam. Score 1 for privacy there. So if you're on Team Green, you can definitely mine privacy coins. Let's take a look at AMD. They're just not going to be crypto notes the way you would, or the way you used to be able to on AMD. But on AMD, let's refresh that. Looks like top of the list would be Ethereum mining. However, you're not going to do so at a profit if you're running on 10 cent power. You're actually going to have to look for either cheaper power, or you're going to need to look for more optimized projects. Now, right here on What to Mine, the news goes from bad to worse, essentially, where you can spend as much as $3 to get nothing on Bitcore. And then down on RandomX, you're not really that much because you're not getting super high hash rates there on these GPUs. Now, across every single one of these models combined on RandomX, you're barely getting over a kilohash. Go back to Monero benchmarks. These CPUs are killing it, right? Ryzen 3950X is going to do over 16 kilohash. Looks like somebody just updated that to be 16.8. So let's go back here to What to Mine and update that number and bring it back up to 16.8. And if we did want to really optimize it and say that it was only doing 165 watts at the wall, then looks like we do even better. Check it out. $1.20 a day to passively mine on your workstation or on your content creation machine. So, man, it looks rough for AMD, but I promise you, it's not as rough as it looks. There's opportunity when you see this kind of adversity in the market, but we just have to go out and find it. I'm not going to give any kind of mining picks today, but I do want to kind of describe that and just sort of leave that dangling out there for you to go and do some more homework. If you have a lot of AMD cards, do not despair and definitely don't give up. So global hash rate, I'm kind of interested to see where hash rate is right now on Bitcoin and several other coins, just to see what that means for participation in mining in general. So right now, over the last 2 years, you can see Bitcoin mining has just gone up. Since the bull run of 2017, of course, it's been on everybody's mind. Looking across, all time, the bull run of 2017 got a lot of early investor groups thinking about mining as a way to manage risk, right? So you can always manage risk when you have assets in the real world, when you have some kind of infrastructure that you invested into in the real world. Again, not advice. Did I already do this? Okay, yeah, I did. There you go. So, not advice. I mean, unless you want to reach out and have me design your mining micro data center, then fine, I'll give you advice, but not here on the stream. It looks like clearly participation as it's grown since 2017 has only gone up until we hit some adversity, right? In 2018, going into 2019, backslid, the end of 2018, post October, dark days, really, really rough, but we bounced back very quickly. And the hash rate is there to prove it, right? It kind of took almost, took almost the better part of 6 months, over half a year, to get back to the same hash rate and participation. But we're way back and it's still just growing. But now we got the wild swings. See those? Hugely wild swings. But to get the hash rate info for projects like Monero, we have to use coinwars.com and others. So there's the Bitcoin hash rate right there. We already saw Monero. Let's take a look at Ethereum. Just type that directly in. And it looks like, yeah, Ethereum in the same timeline from November, taking a massive beating. Massive beating. And especially since, there we go. Oh, it hurts. It hurts. Things climbed through 2018 until we saw adversity, but we have not quite recovered in terms of global hash rate for Ethereum. It's a real bummer. Without trying to draw any conclusions there with the Ethereum hash rate, let's take a look at just the price of hardware. With that example used before, the AMD Ryzen 9 3950X, 16-core processor, it's over $1,000. It's over $1,200. It's right there at $1,300. And if you're only doing about $1 a day in profit, they're $1.21 a day. How long is it going to take you to pay that off? Well, quite a while, right? So let's even just pretend, let's for easy math, that it's $1.30 a day. If you could hold that profit of $1.30 a day, it's going to take you 1,000 days. 1,000 days to get to where you need to be for being made whole on that CPU purchase alone. However, if you're already building a workstation, maybe look at AMD. Maybe that's the way to go. Wouldn't recommend to anybody to go out and buy mining hardware today unless you're buying somebody else's who's capitulated. Let's take a look at Miner Rocks. Here's where we've got a few tools that you can use to kind of dig deeper. These aren't the only tools, but now you know there are a couple tools you can use to try to figure out where else can I use this CPU hash rate. And I'm on miner.rocks right now. I'm going to plug those same numbers into miner.rocks. Now we've got random X, and they've got it just shortened there to RX/O, and we got RX/Loki. It's in kilohash. That's why I went ahead and just dropped it down to 16.8. And you can see updated real time down there, the Loki and Monero numbers. And it shows us about $1.80 a day to Monero's $1.62. Let's compare that to what to mine. And that tracks pretty closely to the daily profit right there. So it looks like, hey, Loki is a bit more profitable. Go Loki. That's awesome. So huge fan of Loki. Hope that the team at Loki is doing well. But yeah, looks like you can be a little more profitable than you would be on Monero by mining Loki. And you have a lot of the same privacy features that are available on Monero with Loki as well. Last tool that I want to share with you tonight for tonight's mining update is herominers.com. This is another pool. So pool operators, they're interested in showing you what the potential is on their network. And this one adds monero, which I mentioned before. And of course, when I plug those numbers in, it tops the list because they're extremely profitable by comparison. But with Loki, top of the stack, Monero is next, but then monero is not too far behind at about $1, almost $1.30 in daily profit. Now, net profit, we have to take a look if you're at 10 cent power. Looks like the average there is about, 40 cents to run that Ryzen 9. So with 40 cents subtracted there, you're still looking at like 88 cents for the day. Not bad for a coin like Monero. As far as the actual liquidity of that coin, let's take a look at it over here on CoinGecko. So CoinGecko is going to give us a little bit of insight into Monero. Oh yeah, Monero. It's a top 2,000 coin. So you have heard of it. Okay, so this is such a cool project though. So shout out to John over at Monero. Doing awesome. 24-hour trading volume, it's high, but it's not super high, right? The market cap is also fairly low. Apparently 20% of the total market cap is traded every single day. So that volume could be potentially really, really fake. I don't think it is, but it always could be, right? So take that with a grain of salt. However, the market cap kind of tells us a little bit, and it looks like as far as where things are actually moving, wow, Cytex, 99% of the volume is happening there, which tells me over here at Trade Ogre that volume is not fake. So $180 a day is not fake, definitely. But yeah, if you're only doing $1 a day or a few bucks a day on a few rigs, I think you're probably fine. As long as you're not pushing like whatever 10% of the daily volume, I think you're probably fine right there. However, not advice. You didn't hear it from me. Plus, I don't want you to like disrupt or dump the Monero market and ruin it for everybody else. Monero and Loki, of course, you're much safer doing that kind of thing with. Let's take a quick look at Loki to see where they're currently at. Top 200 project now. So guys, good on you. You were, when you first started, you've come up. You're all grown up. Hey, and you're back up in the 36 cent range as far as the dollar value, USD value, over 5,000 Satoshis. That's cool. Market cap is 16 million and says daily trading, 24-hour volume is $21,000. So again, here's where we got a mismatch. Is it really possible that Monero has as much daily trading volume as Loki does with that disparity in market cap? I doubt it. I really doubt it. Plus the enhanced interest and scrutiny that is on the Loki project for being a top 200 project. I just don't think that they compare. I just don't think that's the case. Oh, hey, how do you feel about Loki Network today? Good. I feel good. Thanks. So similarly, let's take a look at Trade Ogre. That tells me, again, that right there is not fake. The 1,600 a day. Can I get 1,600? Can I possibly, for myself, carve out enough CPU nodes to be mining really, really profitably? And by profitably, let me characterize that for the small to mid-scale miner, profitably enough to have a full-time attendant in the data center and replace their typical job income levels, whatever you value that at, right? So typical worker in that space, you're going to need to probably carve out somewhere along the lines of $300 to $500 a day to make sure that it's actually worth their time. You could do a little less than that. Might find somebody who's willing to work for far less, right? $100 a day, between $100 to $200 a day. So let's just characterize it as that. Okay. That's what I mean by profitable enough. So most people could actually like pay rent on this and feel happy working in a mining data center. So, looks like you could probably do that. One of us out there could, right? One of us mining operators could make this work, but we probably couldn't all do that, just based on the volume that's at Trade Ogre alone. KuCoin could be that volume is totally fine as well. But wait, what are we seeing here? Oh, so KuCoin trading against Bitcoin rather. So their Bitcoin market probably Probably will support it if that's all real. I don't know if it is. Could be that the Ethereum volume is a little more indicative of what's actually trading, but I don't know. Again, I'm not going to pretend to know enough about the markets there to be able to say for sure, but I can say that what's on TradeOgre is very likely real volume. Monero, of course, top 14 project. Sort of the most visible success in the crypto note space outside of Bitcoin. And here, market cap of knocking on the door of $1 billion, daily trading volume in over the $100 million mark. I don't think anybody questions whether or not you can run a mining data center by profitably flipping Monero into liquidating it to pay some of your costs. And you may need to do that, right? So people who say you can't do that, you shouldn't do that. Well, I think you should try to hold out as best you can, but that's not always realistic. So you do what's best for your mining operation. All right, guys, that is a brief overview today of what to mine on AMD, CPU, and NVIDIA. So you tell me down in the comments, what are you mining on your NVIDIA cards? What are you mining on your AMD cards? What are you mining on your CPUs? And more importantly, what CPUs are you using right now? Are you getting by with used CPUs? Or are you buying new CPUs? Are you interested in EPYC and Ryzen? If so, are you getting ready to scale up? Tell us in the comments. Thank you so much for watching this video all the way to the end. You're the reason I make this media. I love your face, and I will see you in the next one.